It's the Parliament. Okay, we talking about soul group. Let's do it. Yeah, fucking with a soul cluster. Yeah, might have thought we was the Ghostbusters. Yeah, feel like no other. Fuck Zeus, man, that nigga don't know thunder. We don't need the rain. I'm just trying to build, get the change. I'm the esoteric speedy change. Where's E? Cause baby need a Adam. Looking for the soul. I don't believe you had one. Goddamn. Yeah, took the soul out. You took the soul out. You took the soul out. A little clean like got stank. Cupid got aim. A nigga got. Jimmy said Jimmy got shot. Don't ask for shit. Cause no, I ain't got it. Everybody know I'm the pilot. Goddamn. Just holler if you need me. We all need a friend. Don't call me for no reason. Cause I was getting busy. So mama come and tease me. You got essential oils. I'm probably gonna need it. I'm looking down. I need your alibi for this dick. Yeah. You got to be a second line off the rip. Damn. Shit that like Caliban off the strip. Damn. Window hoe. You stay taking souls. Look, I'ma need my back. Damn. When I'm around you, a nigga get sidetracked. You took the soul out. You took the soul out. You took the soul out. You asked about my past, yeah, what the hell? Somewhere fucking with a Jezebel. It's power in the jingle, devour you a little. You wanna follow angel like a Menadel. Man, it's all in the light. This shit here might cost you your life. Okay, cause you was on the ground. Usually that's down. And just to get back up, now you call on no flights. Damn. Girl, I ain't fucking with you. Tell me what you was gonna do. Yeah. Tell me, girl, what it do? You ain't like you ain't got a clue. Yeah. I ain't got shit to lose. Girls all making that you. Yeah. Like boss on the crew. Nobody fucking with the soul blue. Yeah. Took the soul out. You took the soul out. You took the soul out.
That might have been what happened to pop culture. Let's not blow up the spot. Let's not. You know what I'm saying? We'll talk about USA and Iran and all of that. Let's not blow up this. Be quiet. It's a war going on outside. Goddamn monkeys ain't saying. Now let's check this out. We gotta break it down. We're gonna get real in the intricates and the corners and the crevices. You know what I'm saying? We're just gonna get real articulate, real you gonna think you dissected in the school like, what about my frog? You know what I'm saying? You know, science class. Dissected a frog. What about my frog? You know what I'm saying? That's how we gonna dissect it real slow to see all the intricates, the heart, the lung. Off right is in the left toe knuckle on the right. Oh, set up to the brain of this body we call pop culture. You know what I'm saying? We gotta look at the brain. I don't know why Trump stopped funding mental asylums. You know what I'm saying? But we gotta look at this in the spiritual world. It's gotta be all about the spiritual world. Look at characters. If an energy was a person, start looking at energies like people. It's a lot of retarded things floating around. A lot of retarded things walking around. Like something you act like one of them right now. You know what I'm saying? Something pop culture created. So we're gonna have to get down to this understanding. First of all, the moon get ready to move in Aquarius. What that mean? You know what I'm saying? First of all, we get ready to lead up to a new moon. Second of all, the characters that we're reacting or responding to, that's going to be the energies that lead it up. It's the building blocks. Is you going to put the right block in that space? What is the block? It could be a creative goal. It could be an old block that needs to be replaced because it's stopping that space from being fulfilled with new things. So your space is smothered. So it could be something you need to get out of. So it could be a new block replaced there. You know what I'm saying? This can be a stage in your life. All these blocks or whatever the case may be become the building blocks, and based on your decision, it can be the right or the wrong one based upon you. Remember, getting too lost into the external world, you feel the real moral system God gave us all the ability to have. What's right for you may not be right for someone else. So just because you lost in a bias and that monetary gain may look like it's something similar that has attracted you, remember, it ain't the what, it's the double H hockey stick, it's the how, or whatever the case. And you need to understand the how may not be right for you, but you're lost into the what, and you're like, yeah, I want that. I want them 20-inch Rams and I'm saying I'm Dayton's or with the faces on it or whatever. You know what I'm saying? The spokes poking out, whatever the case may be, and I'm just an IG star. And that's it. I'm nobody in real life, and I went broke to look like my favorite artist. And we don't need none of y'all like that. We don't need nobody in the world like that. Matter of fact, you're supposed to already be standing on something already. As the moon go into Aquarius, you're supposed to be taking up what you're standing on, or your face being on that billboard of that block. It should be something that you substantiating yourself on, or you got out of a block that needs to be replaced, that tower moment. So you can start to build on, something you could be the boss of, something you can control, and stop worrying about things you can't control. It's time to associate it now, because now you're going to be in a fixated thought. And if you are an Aquarius, you already got these qualities. If you're not, this is the quality that you may need to participate with based upon you being a Taurus, Scorpio, or a Leo. Maybe a little harder for you to get your 1-2 than other individuals due to the fact that you share the modality, but you are a different element. So your way of going about something you're already interested in or think you know how to do may cause negative reactions and responses, your way of how you're going about it. So, you're going to go about it in a fixated way. Yeah, that look like what we all need to pay attention to. But we might pay more attention to the Aquarius because they might do it right, other than the Leo, Taurus, or the Scorpio, because the Scorpio may do it in the water way, that's fixed. Leo may do it in a fire way, that's fixed. Taurus may do it in the earth way, that's fixed. And when Aquarius is doing it, that's going to be the example of what to do or what not to do. And the Taurus and the Leo and the Scorpio may be all over the place, still trying to get fixated in something, regardless of what it is. Maybe it's a situation, it's a position, maybe it's some money. You know what I'm saying? Maybe it's an idea, maybe it's a goal, maybe it's a relationship. You know what I'm saying? Maybe it's some creative attribute or however the case. So you already know that the energy is going to be like, yeah, we need to be fixated into something, but just modify it to look more like air. And then for the most part, Aquarius is going to be the example of what to do or what not to do if they're on the wrong side of the universe. But it ain't going to be no example for them. So if they're paying attention to too much external validation and things of that nature, that's where the Aquarius are already going to be on the wrong side of energy, and they ain't going to experience none of the benefits of the moon being in their energy, and they're going to be on the same negative side of the universe, just as Taurus, Leos, or Scorpios, when they got to get a little bit more of their 1-2 for them to be on the right side of the universe. And not to say that being on the wrong or the right side of the universe is something to end all and be all, you go to hell or whatever. I'm just generalizing something to let you know that just your energy itself can be the opposite of what's the energy externally need at the moment for something to play through in that in sync relatable energy. And you might be trying to be in sync and relatable, which we are trying to do, but your way of how you're doing it may cause you to experience unsync situations, unrelatable circumstances. You know what I'm saying? So these are things we just need to pay attention to and be sensitive, and don't be scared of life. And when you're looking at life in this way, it ain't nothing to be scared of. You can't wait to experience. You can't wait to see what your mind God just gave you some new knowledge. You can't wait. You know what I'm saying? And the stuff that you thought you were scared of and stuff like that, you'll be like Jumpman. You know what I'm saying? You'll be like Jumpman. You know what I'm saying? No, this ain't the gray ones. It ain't the gray ones. I said, why you want gray with tan? No, it's tan. You know what I'm saying? So YP gang, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to Jordan for being into moccasins over there. You know what I'm saying? Can I get a deal, Jordan? Can I get a deal? You know what I'm saying? Chad, where that book at too? I want to learn how to never get a psyop played on. You know what I'm saying? Where the book, Michael? Where the book, Jordan? But yeah, before we get there, look, that's outdated anyway. So for the most part, Jordan might become a better teacher than a lot of individuals, even though he probably, I don't know what he did. That's a little bit before my time, but I was in his time. So at the same time, at his late stages and stuff, and being the number 45 and stuff, but I'm well enough to be aware of. He probably didn't get a lot of psyops and stuff, so that'd be a good book. But at the same time, who knows? People who more invested, they'll probably start picking out a lot of times Michael Jordan was cooning and stuff like that. So let me just go ahead and be quiet. I might be talking too fast or whatever. Just from what I see, at my standpoint, like goddamn good career or whatever the case, that he did something that for some reason no colonists see him as a threat or whatever, and he just allowed to make as much money as possible or whatever the case may be with no psyop. How you do that? Like how you do that? That got to be studied. Like that gotta be studied in some way, shape, or form. We get ready to get into pop culture though. You know what I'm saying? And here's the thing: when it comes into pop culture, a lot of y'all might be like, "This is depending on what you're interested in." If you're on American soil at the moment, you might be interested into 5 layers: business, entertainment, education, religion, and politics. But here's the thing: anything attached to the pop culture concept itself, utilizing these popular pop what have been made popular to be a formation of a column for people to generalize certain cultures or whatever the case may be, or generalize a culture for multiple cultures to participate in and get into a synthetic version of it, or however the case may be. But for the most part, things that come with these things, these forms is part of the old world. So these tactics being used for whatever that you're doing now is going to be one of the reasons why you are experiencing a tower moment. So, you know, you have a lot of people complaining about music right now. We've been complaining about the movies and things of that nature. And we're going to get into all that too, so we can understand the ground basis of where is this coming from, especially for people who don't believe in the spirit and God and stuff like that. Y'all know I like to break down things in reality, even though I'm not an atheist or whatever the case may be. God gave me enough intelligence to not have to involve God, because a lot of times y'all involve spooky things, and even if you're atheist, and things that external representation or that mental concept don't even have anything to do with. So, you know, just be not being an atheist, God gave me the intelligence or whatever the case may be to be able to present it in such a way that I don't have to bring up God and I don't have to bring up spirituality, and we're going to get right into the root of things in reality and see how we are playing out as far as a psyche. And you could know that it's inevitable too, because you probably trying to start something right now, and you probably have a similar rollout, and we ain't talking about musicians, business, anything, right? There was a certain way of how you can get online that's no longer feasible or whatever the case may be, yet we're all still getting online. So that's a thing. And when you have to understand that, you know, the theme of shifts and energies and stuff like that, this is a thing. And I'm from the hood, so this I'm already for us, people from the hood, gang members, drug dealers, whatever the case may be, that's trying to change their life, and you get out of that and you spiritual already. You just not in that concept of having someone who can explain it. And then for other people in the suburbs and things of that nature, and then all around the world, even high class, to let you know that, you know, don't just think you watching people and you just rich and stuff like that, that a person at the bus station or a person online that's a YouTuber don't have no knowledge or whatever the case may be. You know, you don't have to respect everybody, but this hearing the sentiment would allow you to see ahead of the game in this new shift. So you could even be like, all right, this gives me a concept of what I'm getting ready to fund, and I can now kind of compartmentalize what's worth it or not. You know what I'm saying? Because this, I might got access to this technology, I might got access to this group of celebrities or whatever the case may be, but what I'm about to use them and fund them for may be unrecoupable for this person, maybe not worth trying to sell at this moment, because I'm actually understanding sentiment of the world at the moment. You know what I'm saying? So this for everybody to really peep game, because you know, you don't even want to get into energies, even when it comes into the music industry, and crash out more when it comes into things like inflating, paying for things to even justify someone selling more records than they actually did or whatever the case may be. When that proof in the pudding or that synthetic concept can't be rooted in reality, it is going to become a problem. It's almost like a AI artist that used AI in a way before it was obvious to try to come up with a plan, like the producers, like let's say Timberland, planning to be like, this is good, but we're going to trick people a little bit, right? But then the synthetic has to be rooted in reality. At some point, people, the fans, want to see the person, want to do a meet and greet, want to do something like that. You know what I'm saying? And and you can't pass those things. You know what I'm saying? People want to see you in the studio, even if they're not around you, because you show them a reflection of when they're in their creative space, even if they don't do music. But this is what everybody likes to see. The ground basis of what built your mentality to even express that talent.
So people like to see the space you in. This is why DVDs was so hot and stuff like that, because we got to see the artists in their natural space. So if an artist, even from an area, and we catch a smack DVD, we catch a the come up DVD, we catch a Cocaine City DVD, we sometimes artists can't even survive because we get to see you in your natural state. This artist might be nervous looking. This artist might be that. We get to see it, so you can't pull a wool over our eyes in no industry plant type way, or whatever the case may be, because us as fans or the audience, we like genuality, period. We don't care about what commercials tell y'all and what the handlers and the artist team tell them and stuff like that. Y'all be forgetting what made y'all hot in the first place. It don't be having nothing to do with those things that y'all start to do to think that you need to stay hot. And when you look at kind of compartmentalize with tactic, for an example, a lot of you artists have already left your creative space because you spent more time in that pocket after you got a deal. But when things was going smooth and it wasn't large on the percentage scale where you had to think about these things, think about your career. And since you're watching me now, counterpartmentalize the times you was in the pocket of what got you the attention and the time that you was in the pocket of getting these recommendations and narratives and stuff like that. You would start to see that's where you failed. That was the song those was the times you couldn't make a hit or whatever. And the times you was free, all the way to the time that you was free enough to be in that creative space to get the attention and stuff like that. That's when you was making hits. So the moment, you could kind of look at it like Ray J, right? Ray J is crashing out a little bit too far. Not to even bring him into it. I don't mean to bring, shout out to Ray J or whatever the case may be. A lot of these people don't even mean to do it. They don't know. People don't know. Everybody trying to catch up right now. You know what I'm saying? And reason why I didn't want to go into that, because I can't really use him as an example, because he really not putting up music. He just really doing shows based upon his own music. But if he was getting ready to present some new music, and then he was doing that catch up from the eyeball thing or whatever the case may be, it's almost like crashing out ahead of time before you can even understand we in a new shift. And the thing that you doing to get attention is the very thing that destroys your attention in today's time. That's being studied. You see what I'm saying? So a lot of times in the industry, it's probably a lot of handlers getting cussed out, managers getting cussed out, artists getting cussed out. You know what I'm saying? Everybody cussing each other out because what been received, and then the recoup measures and the circumstance. But the world we in is a different world where these things may not be applicable. So when it comes into the broadest pop star and stuff like that, what do a pop star do when only thing they know that worked was what they team told them to do, and it was just their creativity? Now, when you getting stones casted at you based on your lack of creativity, now you have to lean and depend on your team to make it seem like it's something they're not doing right. But it become a weird, sticky situation, because who's right and who's wrong when the system all y'all as participants is participating with is going through a tear down at the moment. So the average individual will look at the situation from a distance and be like, well, the artist, you needed the team. But then on the other side, whoever want to take the team side or whatever the case may be, would be like, well, the team, you needed the artist. So in this aspect, we even in a time where it's hard to even make an artist cosplay the new sentiment we in, due to the fact of it's disingenuous because they already a part of it. So it becomes a discussion of just how to remix something that they already a part of without something just totally being new. See what I'm saying? And this becomes a problem, because it's like, what do we do? And people in the industry who got money invested in rich, it'll become more of a problem for them than people who don't really got much to lose. And then if they stumble across gold, people who heavily invested really don't have no way to cling on unless there's a deal that have been signed, and that gold that some person who was a little free stumbled across still got those laws and terms and agreements that they have signed, that the recouping energy can now allow the industry to utilize this person to filter themselves into this new gold. Which, here goes another cussing out industry where artists getting cussing out, managers get, because now the artist going to be upset, like, now you're taking revenue from something that I had to build, but you can't do much complaining because you knew that the money that you took, that you had to recoup. So it's like if these narratives that's presented by pop culture is kind of like losing percentage scale. This is where we at right now, and I'm going to present solutions, but I'm also going to present the conditions of why it's in the first place, because the first way to finding a solution is attacking a problem. A crackhead not going to know they have a problem until they accept they're a crackhead, and then that's when they're going to go to rehab or whatever. Other than that, they'll sit there and let Eve give Adam the apple in their mind all day and be lost. The tree represents your body. The fruit represents your organs. The snake represents the desires, the mind that condensed that became the organs. The mind that condensed and become the emotional state from its lighter stage is the emotional, that's Eve. Then in its lighter stage, that's Adam, the logical side. So what's closer to the body and the desire? The mind condensed to become the emotion condensed and become the organ, and the organ spread out and become the tree, the physical. So your emotions always going to be closer to the body. So you're going to be emotionally trying to do things to please the flesh. And then when you logically justify it, even if it's wrong, that's your emotions, Eve, saying, hey, this pleased the body, the fruit, the organ, and give it to Adam, your left logical side. And then once you try to justify it like it's not bad, even though we know it's bad, then for the most part, that's your logical side accepting your emotional state. Now you're not logical, you're irrational about something or whatever the case may be. And that's like a crackhead not accepting and just justifying, oh no, I'm okay or whatever the case may be, and then not taking their monkey ass to rehab. You see what I'm saying? So, for the most part, you just got to know what people go through in their mind when they out of order. Your spirit creates the mind, and that's a process. You have a thought, then that condenses as a collection of ideas and become feelings, and that feeling sit in one location. That's an emotion, water. So you got that fire, air, water, earth. But it ain't physical yet. It's just impactful. It's influential. You can feel it. You see what I'm saying? So that's before it becomes the external representation. Teamwork makes the dream work. And we can see light, fire, condense and become cloud, airy, then water. And then for the most part, spread out as the spermacide. And now we got trees and land mass and sand particles. You know what I'm saying? That get formated. And now we got land to walk on. So we see an external representation of this, an internal representation of this, and what gave us that knowledge and concept in general, the global, all possibility, God representation of that. So when you live in order, you see when someone out of order, and you see what misplaced order structure that they in. And it's the spirit, mind, body, external, things that the body create. So the mind mimic the spirit, so that you could get confused to think that you are things that's the mind. And the mind is just a collection of thoughts and feelings. You know what I'm saying? Y'all be dying as a spirit, not even dying at all. Just a whole bunch of stupid thoughts and feelings you're supposed to be letting go. The mind condenses and become the physical body. So the mind, so sometimes the body likes to mimic the mind. Sometimes y'all think y'all could do things physically. It was only in your mind. And y'all in the halfway house right now or in the grave because of it. Then you got the external things of that nature. What the body create. The body creates the external things. You get too lost, you become red pill or feminist because the external things that you didn't got lost because these things is better suit to represent your physical body because of something you lack, whether it's exercising, or whether you have insecurities or whatever the case may be, or whether you got damage, heart broke or whatever. So those rims, as a man and being a red pill, having a white collar blue job, or that high business job and suit collar and those business stilettos on that don't show the toes or whatever, because you making more money than all the men in your neighborhood and your family or whatever, being a feminist or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Those become more important to represent your life and who you are, and when you look in the mirror. And when that badge ain't with you in that mirror, you don't feel like nobody or whatever the case may be. So you fully lost, out of order. You in the last pocket of life, something the body created. And when that pill ain't there, when that object ain't there, when that crutch ain't there, all the way down to that Bible ain't there, you ain't shit physically. And that's the worst place to be. Because when a person poke a hole in these things, debunk it, take it away from you, you lose it, you ain't got access to it, your life go through and dazzle distress at the moment. You be everybody's nerve problem at that moment. You be the reason everybody in your family, friends, and associates and co-workers put their phone on airplane mode. Don't disturb. You know what I'm saying? Change your name on their phone to the bullshitter. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta peep game. It get deep. And let's get to pop culture. Let's go to the Matrix. Let's go to Dun, 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 dun. The father of North America. I don't want to put it up. I'm coming with 3 sisters. Corned beef and squash. Let's talk. Now let's see where pop culture at today. So, and let's see what we can do to get it back, and who's gonna be the new faces of it. Because it ain't nothing but what becomes popular. Who culture going to become popular in the spiritual race, and that's what racism really is—a spiritual race. Y'all get lost in colorism, the physical body, the flesh. Anybody coming out that way, I told y'all the order of spirituality and what God taught us. You could tell people mentally ill, out of order already. People lost either in the physical that the body created, or with the mind created the body, or with the spirit created the mind, and totally detached from the spirit and stuff like that. And I'm getting everybody back in order. Spirit, your individual solo spirit is your soul. Thoughts, feelings, then emotion, boom, your mind, boom. Then your adrenaline, organs, boom. Then things you're motivated to do in the external world. Teamwork makes the dream work. All of our spirit, mind, and body condensing and becoming a physical earth. And how you could conduct the land. Cultivate the land. That's what I meant to say. Cultivate the land and cultivate the people's mind. So even if you lack something physically, if your mind powerful, you're still closer to in order. You will be able to control everybody who's lost in the physical and the external and got small percentage scales with their spirits and their mind. Because we all got be in limbos. There's people be more on a percentage scale, and you could tell. You'll be able to control them. A person, you know, they can snap your neck with one punch and stuff like that, but they wouldn't dare to do it. It's more of an emotional, impactful. Everybody around will feel weird or whatever the case may be, because your mind muscle stronger, your first body stronger. Everybody first, you got your spirit, then you make your first body the mind, then your second body the body, then third body the things, the physical world, the protection. So always keep that in your mind. So anybody who got any insecurities, you can start building on that mental muscle of not having it no more. And find your individuality, where you good at, where you gonna look good, where you gonna be mentally superior. It's some of y'all be lost in the physical so much y'all don't realize the dichotomy within that. A person could be the most beautiful person in the world and ugly, and nobody want to be around and frustrated. Homie still red pill, female still feminist. You know what I'm saying? And then for the most part, man, homies ain't beautiful, whatever the case may be. I meant to say the female first or whatever. I'm talking a little fast. You know what I'm saying? Fuck you, nigga. You know what I'm saying? But other than that, then a lot of times y'all can see examples in the world. Goddamn, I can't get jiggy with this in the face and stuff like that. And the shema, not chimpanzee, nigga. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. They got way more than everybody. Y'all saying? Fat and ugly as ever. Whatever. You know what I'm saying? Gotta stay coochie down to, hey, you can tell Biggie Small, he wasn't getting more bitches than someone who be in the mirror all day, still gotta buy a bitch. You know what I'm saying? I'm still on for that. You know what I'm saying? So like, wait, let's not trip. Let's not trip. Get these insecurities out of your mind. Life is broad. Find these pockets. Get out of that small world you in and stuff like that got you thinking larger on the percentage scale. Retardation. Better put your spirit in that space of knowing you the shit. And you ain't at the same time. You know what I'm saying? You everything that becomes the spirit. But you ain't none of these things at the same time. You just created these things. You the creator, not the creation. You the creator, not the creation. But look, peep game. Now, Friday the 13th, right? The end of pop culture, aka the tactics that come. Now we have reached. It's the end right now. Actually today, this is it. My spirit always on shifts, always on point. I've been doing this for how long? Y'all know what I'm saying? So the end of pop culture, aka the tactics that comes with it, is being studied and judged at the moment. Everybody don't have to share one. Now keep this in mind, because this ain't really got nothing to do with it. But this is a disclaimer. Everybody don't have to share, because this is one of the things what I'm getting ready to say that's maybe a problem or a dilemma that people at roundtables may have a issue but not seeing. But it's one of the main substantiated foundations and the basis of what make the pop culture or the industry work, right? Everyone has to be up under one umbrella of something. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's for this product or whether for that. And this may be the dilemma that they're going through to try to figure out, do that needs to be updated? What I'm trying to tell you is, no, that's outdated, and it's not even a scary phase when you think that it can't work and it needs to be updated, but you can't figure it out yet, because and then you're piggybacking it like all the eggs is on that basket for pop culture industry to work in this new time. What I'm telling you is right now that that is an issue now. Forcing an umbrella. Here's the thing. Everybody don't have to share one culture, but making your culture interesting is the key. And we'll start to realize there's a thin line where that always been the case. It's just we get lost in some of these pockets sometimes and monetary gains and convince ourselves we did the right thing based on the monetary gain that probably wasn't even a large percentage scale of the ground basis of what we was doing in the first place. You see what I'm saying? For an example, right? It might be skateboarding get lit. One person become the best skateboard rapper. I'm just using this as an example, right? But then start to get used to sell another product on the skateboard or whatever. Then it reaches a situation where it's like now that person isn't even in a position of being a skateboard rapper. They're just using the skateboard for something else. Now, in itself, it's almost like the culture itself of skateboarding has been sacrificed to whoever was the face of it and whoever put their symbol on the skateboard so you go buy only those skateboards or whatever the case may be. Then when someone else come around with a whole new way of skateboarding and music or whatever the case may be, what happens? Is it going to be some business tactics happening? Is it going to be some colonial tactics? Is it going to be only this person on the radio or at the skate parks or whatever, and this person gets shadowed or whatever? You know what I'm saying? Or is it going to be this person having to copy that person, but we only still see this person? And see, this becomes problems or whatever the case may be, because now, here's the thing, right? It's only coming from a concept of thinking that everybody has to be up under one thing for something to work. And we're not in that time anymore. When something is forced and you're not allowing someone to have their own freedom, right? That's what's going to cause more of a problem. So you need to understand this is about making your culture interesting or whatever the case may be. Then all cultures will like it in some way. Or here's the thing. Everybody don't have to share one culture, but making your culture interesting is the key, where people can be entertained and maybe add qualities to their own culture if beneficial. So therefore, it don't have to be like even the audience after a year, start creating up wars where they like, wait a minute, I don't like this skateboard artist no more because they did a whole bunch of militia tactics on this person that we would have never knew. We would have never knew Tony Hawk, and we would have sat there and allowed this person to create some mainstream stuff. And then for the most part, we never seen this underground person. So for the most part, it's almost like it's you don't have to protect an umbrella that's actually going to become more of a problem at this moment. Then when there's a whole bunch of new people, these new generations of people, and we're going through a flushing system. So everybody going back to their ethnic, where everybody is anyway. It's just y'all just fading away from that nationality thing or whatever the case may be or whatever. All this new gold going to be out here. No way to obtain it. No way to colonize it. No way to prophesize. And if people got this gold, gold is gold. There will be new things to capitalize off of it. It will be new ways, new concepts, new structure. That's inevitable. A person needs to find a way to get something. That's a necessity. And a person has to be creative enough to produce that so it can become a system of give and take. So everyone is still flourish. A person can still be a customer and a person can still flourish because there's a system where both people is able to get it. You know what I'm saying? Everybody got their own expertise. For an example, a musician ain't going to get no money from other musicians. So you need to be catering to people who fix cars, people who dentists, people in the hood, people in this or whatever the case may be. So a dentist person make money their way. And that's how you make money your way. But we're all connected in some type of way. As long as you're doing things that make the world go around. And it's simple. Clothes, music, food. That's pretty much it. Like you doing the main things that and entertainment. You know what I'm saying? Those are the things that make the world go around. We built things around those things. Everything else is scammy. You know what I'm saying? Or just coming from somebody's culture trying to get over or whatever like that. But we all, if you get creative in clothes, food, and entertainment, clothes, food, entertainment, and infrastructure. And it looked interesting. It ain't pretty much, that is life. It ain't pretty much nobody can say or do but be interested. Period. You know what I'm saying? So you just have to learn how to be creative in those spaces. So women just get around men that's creative if you need a head start, and men let women inspire you if you need a head start and stuff like that. So a lot of times it ain't even necessarily dealing with the actual woman. You could look at the woman quality. That's attraction. So for the most part, you need to be creating something that's attractive. So let's say you're lost in the physical and you looking in the mirror. Man, create something that's attractive. That thing only comes from you. All right, you still got that feminine quality around you, so it will attract any other representation that it filtered through, whether it's a female or attention from other individuals to build your quality up of whatever that you're trying to produce. So you have to look at these things metaphysically and physically, or whatever the case may be. And that put you in a better perspective and not be always down on yourself when you're not getting the external things you're lost in, and lost in the flesh and think it's supposed to be that way. But for the most part, yeah, going back to this. So everybody don't have to be share one culture, but making your culture interesting is the key, where people can be entertained and maybe add qualities to their own culture. So that's just a disclaimer. So now we're gonna get into it and add things to their stuff if it's beneficial. Now, a lot of the tactics that were used to make something popular have became burnt out, right? So remember, the what is never the problem specifically. So you always have to remember that. If it's part of something that makes the world go around, like clothes, food, and music, the what is never the problem. It's always the how that needs to be conducted. If there is a problem, it's always the how that needs to be conducted and engineered. And what you'll realize at any ground stage of a situation that you're doing, it comes in that aspect anyway, right? You just drift more into what the comfort zones may have came, and the familiarity and the things that was going in your favor that start to take course, and then you got more lost into those things, thinking that you was doing the right thing based off the bias that you have obtained. But you have to understand the how is always need to be conducted if there is a problem. So a lot of times, going back to the rollout discussion, a lot of times a person go back like, what's the problem now? The rollout was good. Yeah, that's the what. The what is the rollout. You probably had the same type of rollout that you sold 1 million records before, or whatever the case may be. But how it's done now may not care for. For an example, we see people like virtual signal rapper J. Cole, or whatever the case may be, right? The what is, I got to look genuine, or whatever the case may be. So he was at his round table with his handlers and his team and was like, this is a good idea. Hey, we're watching Uriel, we're watching other people. The sentiment is we have to be down to earth and reach the people. Let's get into a Honda or whatever when we don't have to, or a keyword, when we don't have to. So if I'm in the hood, I'm not about to do something I don't have to. So if you're doing something that you don't have to, you're trying to, and then it looked like something I'm from, you trying to sell me that you're not that. That's the problem 21 Savage had trying to sell the streets, and then came out his mouth saying F the streets. No, y'all had a wrong idea about y'all rollout, and y'all should blame y'all handlers. You know what I'm saying? Real stuff, but for the most part. But when it comes into the performative, campaigning, auditioning, or whatever the case may be, right? So for the most part, I had another point. Yeah, that was my point. So it kind of, so it'd be like, dang, that worked for all the other albums. I don't even remember Forest Hill Drive. That's the only people I hear name I hear. But now, for some reason, it's the same thing, but it's not getting the same response. See what I'm saying? And it looked like they're investing even more into the what. Well, what we got to do now? We're this type of artist, so we have to do more of this type of what? Hey, drive around in a Honda or whatever the case may be. But the how is what makes it lost, or whatever the case may be. Because first of all, you don't have to do that. So you're supposed to be a representation you're supposed to be a representation of where you from, not trying to sell something to where you from, or whatever the case may be. That's what we respect. Because when I get something, I want people where I'm from to respect it, or whatever the case may be. Not trying to be like, oh, I'm trying to be like y'all so I can sell this other thing. That don't make no sense, or whatever the case may be. But you can't do that if you're still in the hood anyway. But I'm just trying to make sense out of it, right? So it's the how is done. And how it was done was performative. How it was done was, you see what I'm saying? So that's what makes it weird. So I know a lot of people may complain about music right now, and a lot of people may complain about a lot of other things, but it really ain't got nothing to do with the music. It really ain't got nothing to do with the movies or whatever the case may be. Those are the whats. It's the how that's the problem. And the industry is not understanding that that's becoming outdated. And if y'all keep playing around, y'all gonna crash out record sales for people like Taylor Swift and stuff like that, where y'all gonna have to lie about them selling gold or a million records or whatever, knowing damn well they didn't. And pardon me, and a lot of these shows be set up based on a lot of people getting free tickets. Like a lot of these shows be a lot of the colleges in that city getting free tickets. That's what y'all don't know. The industry, a lot of it is made up in the industry. Like a lot of things is made up, right? So y'all got to peep game. Now, but like I said, all right. So now pop culture has a filter through business, entertainment, education, religion, and politics. And we're going to break down these issues and maybe solutions throughout them all. Now, the popular way of doing business is dying. You know what I'm saying? Inflation with less value has become, and y'all know I like to generalize things. I'm a Leo ascendant, Sagittarius moon, Aries sun, and 888. You know what I'm saying? So for the most part, 17 degrees sun, Aries, 8 degrees Sag moon, and 17 degrees Leo ascendant. So that's 888. So for the most part, here's the thing, right? The inflation so y'all could be able to pinpoint this generalization into small sectors and be able to see how that's playing out in the industry and artists and not even just artists, products, everything. Just the popular way of doing business is dying. Inflation with less value has become an issue in talent, technology, mechanics, living conditions, and deals that are not moral or true to one's own culture, or whatever the case may be. So these are one of the main issues. These are some of the main issues when it comes to the old world business. And so this is why, for an example, this is why you can get your hands on some new technology and you don't even care about it as much. Kind of like how AI have crashed out based upon a lot of the tactics that they used before presenting it to us. Or a lot of these new cars, or the material that they're using for houses now and stuff like that. Like a lot of these things, it's like you're spending more money on less value. Everything going up, but you're getting less bread in the loaf of bread. You know what I'm saying? You get what things that was really like 50-cent bag of chips is $1.75, but it's the same size. You know what I'm saying? Like stuff like that. So we're getting that with artists also, where we have artists being presented to us that's not talented or creative, or it's a synthetic creativity where there's something like a rapper. So they're not a rapper themselves, there's something like it. So they're being told optics of what to do, and their creativity just match the levels of what to be like, not presenting something themselves. When you're something yourself, you end up coming up with a new song yourself. Like y'all know how Nas came up with Rewind? I got a whole album worth of songs that ain't Rewind, but it's songs that just a DoelowDaPilotman song. You know what I'm saying? All the way down to the ghost of me dying after hitting a chick and me coming to kill all the dudes that's alive that she had sex with. That's a song. That's a DoelowDaPilotman song. But mad songs in general, but for the most part, you have to be from a place, go through situations to make your elbow move a certain way for you to be in that natural creative space, or whatever the case may be. But when you're not in that space, you're getting scouted. So you will be someone who pop up from an area all the rappers in that area don't even know like that, or whatever the case may be. Like you ain't in the ring. You know what I'm saying? So that's some shortcut. You met somebody through college type stuff or whatever. So a lot of times these be the people who have to get big in other cities and stuff like that before they own. And make that thing make that sound like it's normal. That ain't normal. You were supposed to be the one throwing all the shows and you using your money and stuff like that. Y'all get deals and have somebody fund y'all stuff in other areas that's part of a fraternity industry program or whatever the case may be. So that be why y'all be needing bodyguards and stuff like that. It don't be because of what y'all be trying to make up normal. So that's the old world. All of that's the whole world. But it ain't just about music. I'm just using that as an example. Inflation itself, you know what I'm saying, where there's going to be some artists, for an example, right? It's a lot of undercover rappers right now, agent rappers, because of the freedom of YouTube and other stuff and other websites. So you got people like La Russell or whatever. Y'all know that's an undercover cop. La Russell is an undercover cop. You know what I'm saying? Um, and industry plants go beyond what been sold to y'all. A lot of y'all been sold industry plants. Russ, just the rapper Russ himself, that's an industry plant. Drake, an industry plant. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of y'all don't be know. And then when a rapper come up on their own, they be getting used, but they don't necessarily be industry plants. So that'd be like a person getting used. So they got agent qualities at times, but it's just because they're able to make money. But the moment that they're not able to make no money or sell anything anymore, they kick them to the curb too, right? But the industry plants be having seniority sometimes. They be getting saved because this be the who the industry like based upon relationships and who they think they feel more safe and comfortable with. You know what I'm saying? So that's like people like Drake, J. Cole, and Kendrick Lamar's and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? They feel more comfortable with them because they know all the ins and outs and stuff of these people and stuff like that. So when it's time for these people to get in, like another undercover cop or agent, he might not be an undercover cop. He may be an agent. He probably want to be a cop though. Ain't nothing wrong with being a cop, but he be trying to rap. What's his name? D1 or whatever. All these people like that, they're agents. Just like there'd be content creators that be always pushing like Hebrew Israelites type of stuff like that. Y'all had this since the beginning of time in hip hop. Bucket Hats gave y'all Public Enemy, African Bambaataa or whatever. So every time somebody is lost in some pop culture, you're going to get these type of psyops and stuff. You're going to get these psyops like Drake's, D1s and stuff like that. People who lost them damn selves. But for the most part, that's what y'all need to understand. These people trying to jump in my lane anyway. I don't even know why all these people getting online trying to look like me. You know what I'm saying? Once y'all do y'all career or come up with something new, this is something I came up with. This ain't something the whole world just start doing. Everybody can't do this. Y'all can't do it either. Y'all need scripts and all kind of stuff. Y'all got words floating around called podcast and algorithm. Man, y'all ain't shit but copycatters and y'all in a new world. Well, that's it. They don't go no further than that. You know what I'm saying? I don't hear nothing what y'all talking about. But for the most part, like I said, the popular way of doing education, right? The popular way of doing education has ended, thanks to me. We are in a time where we realize learning and teaching could be done in many ways other than institutions that come with false culture biases to ultimately lead to capitalizing and colonizing it other than using it to benefit one's life. So that's actually what's going on also right now. Like, so there's a limbo when it comes into ways of learning. Y'all may have thought the only way was learning was institutions, and I had opened up a whole new world in New Worldiah where you can get online, smoke a blunt, and think you're a teacher. Now, if you don't make no sense or whatever the case may be, you'll get laughed at and told you ain't a teacher or whatever the case may be. But for the most part, if you anything like me, you don't know what to call it, but it's teaching. You know what I'm saying? It's something new or whatever. But a damn teacher can't do it. Neil deGrasse can't get up here without no script and come up and just kick some good game and knowledge, and without it being some colonized stuff anyway, making y'all believe in planets like those ain't satellites or whatever the case. And when I say planets, I ain't even talking about, I'm talking about the sun being in certain positions. When the sun ain't there, that ain't no, we ain't talking about no planets like that, no stuff like that. So people who be thinking they're intelligent and start talking about astronomy, they just as lost as other people who be talking about astrology. They all lost. None of them actually know life. A person have a telescope and not know that they looking at fluorescent lights. You looking at satellites. You know what I'm saying? So when a satellite is leave orbit, they use a fuel system to burn it up before it reaches the ground or whatever the case may be. That's a whole little system or whatever. You know what I'm saying? I don't even know how y'all don't know about that, but y'all claim y'all in these colleges or whatever the case. Y'all coons. Shut up. You know what I'm saying? But for the most part, here's the thing, right? The popular way of doing entertainment has came to an end. You know what I'm saying? Thanks to me, I'm entertaining. You know what I'm saying? You artists not entertaining no more. You wish y'all could get on y'all podcast and create some illusion y'all thought people was lost in when y'all was on y'all comedian stage, or when y'all was or when y'all was in y'all music booths and stuff like that. Y'all ain't never seen comedians so serious in life until y'all seen them create a podcast. Now they sound more serious than people on Fox News or whatever the case may be. Y'all ain't never seen a rapper not be a rapper until they got podcasts or start doing memes or whatever the case may be. And since y'all all doing what I'm doing, this is why my music is better than y'all's. You know what I'm saying? So y'all don't even know how to make theme music to represent who you are as a character, because y'all did so much stuff that was recommended to y'all, and those things don't work no more because they part of the old world. So it's like free advice that y'all get when y'all watch content creators, at the same time not being a creator yourself, just someone jumping in. You know what I'm saying? So you got to understand that too, or whatever. And we understand that y'all handlers go through deep measures to shadow ban people like me or whatever the case may be, but that don't stop real life. And the only thing we see in real life is y'all money slowing up once y'all start not getting into y'all creative space. You know what I'm saying? So, and then once we create too many other ways to make money or whatever the case may be anyway, ain't nothing y'all could do anyway. You know what I'm saying? But at some point, the popular way of doing religion is being studied by the universe at the moment. And going back to the cultural phase and people, family, and lineage spiritual system. So that's where things is coming back to at that moment. You know what I'm saying? People's spiritual system, culture, or lineage. Not necessarily some religion that put everybody in some type of box that kind of, we got enough, we can't really take no more, waste no more time without realizing this is what's creating pedophiles, and this is what's creating retards, this is what's creating people who harass people, this is what creates stalkers or whatever the case may be. You can't be in one breath saying, oh, I'm a Christian or I'm a priest or I'm a Catholic or something like that, and everything in history is a result of why you play with booty holes, or why you create wars, or why you a scammer, or why you don't talk about nothing your own culture and your own people created, or whatever the case may be. So it's like those things becoming more important than a person waving a flag of lostness or whatever the case may be, that come with a whole bunch of mental illness. So we're trying, for an example, right? You might be a Hebrew Israelite, right? And you're having a discussion with someone else in another religion, and you're having a debate, right? But we in a new time. To regular people, both of y'all look retarded because everybody makes sense now. So you might be a Hebrew Israelite and so lost in pop culture. That's a part of pop culture. You don't get it. But what you don't get is the average individual gonna look at both of y'all like both of y'all are talking about foreigners. We don't care if you're talking about a person, a god, a cloud. Get back on the boat. Get back on the boat. You know what I'm saying? Hop off the boat. You know what I'm saying? Whatever the case you talking about, your God came with some sword or something like that off a boat. You got to have that argument first. You in America and you talking about your God on the boat. Your God came on a boat. You got, if you can't get past that argument, we don't care about nothing you talking about. That, you see what I'm saying? We in that type of time. So you have to understand, you just probably went to a nigger college, or you just probably lost in the world and being an agent, or you just wanted to be a part of something because you became a god body because you just got out of jail 5 years ago. You know what I'm saying? Or something like that. You tired of selling goddamn bricks, so you went to selling deodorant, instant candle stick. You know what I'm saying? Whatever the hell you sell it or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Deodorant, instant candlesticks. I don't know, to hang it on my wall, rub it on me, or give it to somebody else, or light it and put it on the dinner table. I don't know what to do with it. I just know I was supporting somebody who just got out the halfway house. I ain't care about nothing you was talking about and stuff like that, because goddamn your God came on a boat. So I was, at that point, it don't matter. You know what I'm saying? So y'all got to have that argument first. Y'all just can't be talking about what somebody did in a whole nother continent. And you can listen to a Hebrew Israelite right now, in one breath, they'll be talking about, yeah, we need to get these immigrants out of there. A lot of, and people don't be understanding. We're going back to our fleshing out system. Your percentage scale. Ain't no such thing as a mix and new ethnic groups or whatever the case. Mexicans don't even think like that no more, right? Everybody understand DNA cancel itself out and one attack another. All the way if you got one gene and then they tell you that gene, get the female gonna attack it and can't have no baby. What y'all call that? The monkey gene or whatever? Because a lot of y'all ain't what they call that, the buffalo soldiers. A lot of y'all monkey soldiers. Oh, so it'll be a monkey soldier. But you either something with lesser of the percentage scale of the thing you mix with, and then you just play out like Drake. since Drake more the percentage scale of what he is, look at his child or whatever the case. That's for everybody. It always been like that. Or it would be no such thing as people still being here. It'll just be some new thing and everybody one thing. Because we all humans been here long enough for some just one thing to be created, and it's lesser on a percentage scale of a pure thing. And we don't see that. We just see people being mixed and people being pure. That's it. Then so God ain't taught y'all what y'all got lost in based upon nationalities and stuff. God ain't teach y'all that. God ain't teach y'all that. You don't see that in history. And a mixed person only lasts 1.5 generations in their own damn family. Everybody's still that same thing in their family. Or so whoever they mix with, they other side still that, and the other side still that. In all history. Y'all don't see nothing else. So y'all gotta get out of this all lostness stuff that y'all be in and stuff like that too. But for the most part, yeah, everything is being studied right now when it comes to, especially if you're a Hebrew Israelite and stuff like that, and you start talking about another continent God and stuff like that. That's your first debate. Your debate ain't about the book no more. Your debate about why you talk about why you want to be like people from other countries. You know what I'm saying? Let them talk that. Let them go click on a channel and go to Sunday service and stuff like that and watch them talk about what you talking about. You shut your mouth. How you trying to control their stuff on a whole nother continent, a whole nother country? Oh, I said I don't even make no sense. Y'all just making up stuff. But for the most part, yeah, everything is gonna be good and looked at. Even when y'all look at science like a religion. You know what I'm saying? Y'all gonna know we rotating to the left. Ain't no sun moving to the right. We rotating to the left, and the atmosphere is the moon. We seeing a reflection of the sun when you're not seeing it, so the phase of it. So as you face completely opposite of the sun, that's when you experience a full moon. So that's why time that way. Ain't nothing in the sky moving the sun and moon. Y'all gonna be wasting y'all breath till y'all die trying to come up with an argument like that. All that's faulty. So everything so it's like people like Neil deGrasse got to delete everything that they uploaded because it's all gonna be a whole bunch of eyeball stuff. So it's like an artist, somebody like Neil deGrasse and stuff like that. All the stuff that they built themselves on is seen negative now, seen as retarded. So everything that Neil deGrasse was claiming he was intelligent on is now going to be seen as the dumbest retarded, it's just a tip, thing in existence. So people have to question, what did you teach it for? Was it for monetary gain, or did you truly believe it? You still retarded though. You're not going to get out of it. You're not intelligent though. So we in a new time. We in a time Neil deGrasse's not intelligent. Drake's not y'all top 3. You know what I'm saying? Age don't matter in music, especially hip hop. You know what I'm saying? We can't count on it ain't no young game. Y'all trash. You could be young or old. If it sound good, it's good. And we're going through a time right now where if you're in the middle or you're old, you gotta make better music than anybody right now. So as we at that time right now, you know what I'm saying? So a lot of times, especially if you 19 or 20 or something like that right now, you look old right now, and you got like a rubber gut, melted marshmallow waistline and stuff like that. Like that ain't appeasing and stuff like that to try to be an artist or whatever and try to come out here and try to be somebody. You know what I'm saying? You can't be looking like grandpa and you fresh out of high school. That don't make no sense. You know what I'm saying? But I seen who Lil Pump is. You know what I'm saying? I seen who Lil Uzi Vert is. I don't know if I don't know what they doing and stuff like that. Y'all can't be looking old in the face and stuff like that. Well, they old now. At least Lil Uzi and stuff like that. They old. I don't know why they keep talking about them like they the new generation or nothing. No, they ain't. These cats old. These cats way past the Tupac time. You know what I'm saying? These cats way past Biggie and them time and Busta Rhymes when they was doing their times and early. You know what I'm saying? Snoop Doggy Dogg times. These cats way. Y'all trying to make these cats talk about they the new art. No, these cats old. So y'all need to stop even thinking about hip hop like that. It's not even a young man game anymore. It's just whoever creative. Whoever made up it was a young man game. It never was a young man game. It was some industry saying that we could play with a young person's booty hole faster than someone that's an adult. That's where that came from. It ain't come from nothing else. It came from that. You know what I'm saying? Now, also, the popular way of doing politics or politicking in general is outdated. And politicking has to be based on different things other than the current way of things when we are dealing with our family, friends, and associates. Now, when I speak about politicking, I'm just speaking about how we're communicating to construct order. Who's in this position? Who does this? Who do this? So we can be a well-oiled running machine. Now, it just so happens that we have politics. So, I mean, if you're into politics, you can kind of look at it like that. But for the most part, I'm basically talk about what everybody should be politicking amongst themselves. This is why sometimes a gang or people in the hood could come together faster than the military without no job or money involved. And it's more of a spiritual calling or whatever that y'all doing externally, whatever the case may be. But at the same time, you know what I'm saying, since these things are not funded, they're not putting these, and then the things behind it is not made for the same reasons. So as far as colonial practices, and not to say ain't nothing wrong with the military, ain't nothing wrong with nobody, but I'm just making examples here and stuff like that. But when it comes to politics in general, there's outdated concepts that we're utilizing that's no longer useful. Let's say if you even want to get into actual politics and things of that nature. One of the big things we are experiencing that's being funded in politics right now is narratives about immigration, right? But we're in a new shift, for an example, right? So if we're going to see all the corner stores, Arabs in it, Chinese stores everywhere, African store, Jamaican stores everywhere, or whatever, Arabs in government, East Indians in government, right? So we're not going to see no Native Americans, at least someone like me, mixed with African. So you're getting the best of both worlds. So it's kind of like the fight Africans had here, but still native. So, and then since European brought Africans, you're still involved anyway. So it's not like that type of thing going on where we can at least cut Europeans some slack because they're helping natives and mixed Native Americans. So American has the right representation or whatever the case may be. Then in second in command, Africans that's over here that been here and then blended in like my father have with Native Americans and other people have or whatever the case may be. And then other Africans that's mixed with other Africans and Somalians and Arabs and Asiatic Africans that got Asians in their family or whatever the case may be. Right? For the most part, we're not getting into any of those circumstances or whatever the case may be. So it's almost like if we're going to see immigration being a business, it doesn't make sense to make that a conversation and even put the conversation that we're crafting in a negative light. Like immigration is a problem, where in business, we don't see it being a problem. So what this means is even in politics, there's no new creative. What they call that creator directors. When you got young, refreshing creative directors, this is the first space they're going to be in. This is old. That's dumb. The way people think and where things going now, let's do this. We got too many people in this area, round tables and teams, and agents and puppets, trying to update stuff too much, and thinking that they're in a creative space updating. And it's weird right now because it's nobody's fault. We in limbo. Like no one know. No, all the way down to health, religion, everything. It's like something you've been doing and your morality got to change because you're starting to realize everything you've been clinging on to has nothing to do with why things are successful or failing for yourself and others. So it's like you could be in a limbo space, all of us, where you're harder on yourself than you necessarily need to be, because this new awakening is putting you in a spiritual space to create this new body, because we're all getting this new glorified body to filter through your physical and the things that's representing that's going through a shift, but it's still looking its current state externally to make you feel like you should have known better. But you really got to step back and be like, I wouldn't have known. I'm just in a new shift right now. Because if you don't do that, you're going to be hard on yourself based on the current stage and all this new information. But it's going so fast, it make you think this was something you was always supposed to know at these times of mistakes you was having in 2016, early 17, 18, or whatever the case. So you hard on yourself like, I should have known that. Why I do that? No, I do that. No, you wouldn't have. All of us going through that. Relax. And when you're in that relaxing space, that lessens on a percentage scale being reactionary, and what God wants you to see now become more of what you're reacting to build up this new form, this new body or whatever. And that comes as new gold. And that new gold is new angles to create a new way of doing something, or if something needs to be updated the right way, it's an actual tower moment, and that building is not just being refurnished. It's actually being torn down not re-innovated, and something new is being built there, or whatever the case may be. So you like to be in that same space, you still like that same ego, whatever the case may be, but it's not going to be seen as negative because you're doing something new in that position. Not the same joke, same building, thinking you're going to get the same laughter, same results, same customer. Even people like Rihanna got to be careful with trying to sell records right now. Things are sticky, which we're getting ready to get into. You see what I'm saying? So like I said, the popular way of doing politics, how we're sitting around calculating our moves before we present it. That way is changing right now. In general, it's outdated. And it's like, let the best, this for all these things, not just for politics. It's let the best creator win. Your move is going to be what people copy, but it's an intellectual property for you have to create. It ain't really no paperwork around these things yet. So you have to be strong spiritually enough to do so much gold, even if you have people with you adding to it, that makes it better and stuff like that, which that's what you're supposed to do anyway, that a person can't cosplay it. Even if we bend it down into the outdated world, where like something like Rockstar Records can mimic somebody's life that people family went to jail for Grand Theft Auto in San Andreas, California, even though it's a made up name, you know what I'm saying? But when someone, even if it ain't that family or not, but someone from that background, even if it is their family, have that imagery and something that they're trying to do that have nothing to do with Rockstar Records or Rockstar video games, they can sue for copyright. That's old world though. So even if you try to use that, those cases not going to be as flourishing as many people participating in trying to have that case as was before from a moral stage until it's all the way gone, to the point that even when a person is in that position to have to do that, people not going to support a person and their product and rather support the person that's being mimicked or whatever the case may be. If the person is creative enough and keep putting themselves out here and realize we're not in the old world no more, so there's a different fight going on, a spiritual fight, spiritual warfare. So if you're strong in that area, it's nothing that person could do, and it's apparent they're out of order anyway, and God putting everybody back in order for everybody to be aware of it, bringing angels, God's children back here for people to realize it, right? You have to be morally and unmoral in that type of way that you don't think, and then those things that make you think it was going in your favor, God to kick that can down the road. So you think you're getting over, and you think you can use law to do it, and don't have no customers to buy your product for you to even think your plan was even going to go your way, or whatever the case may be. And then you might not have that. Here's the thing, your audience, you might be Steven Spielberg, you might be George Lucas. Your audience don't know that court. That might not have been broadcasted. Yet that new Star Wars didn't sell as much. Yet the ratings wasn't as high, and you did everything or whatever. And it just seemed like you in a new world. You're like, damn, the last Star Wars, it was the shit. It was all good just a week ago. All of a sudden, they ain't fucking with it. This goes for artists. This goes for, I know all y'all in that same space or whatever the case may be or whatever. But it's because of these type of energies that we are in. We're going through a shift. And your way of doing something. For an example, let's say if you want to be an actor right now or actress right now, instead of going through auditionings, you could use online right now and come up with a whole new way of showing your acting quality. Once you got an audience, we know the industry just trying to look for things. They're going to change around their industry around you. So the common traditional way of how they find people, and then sometimes they have to use that because they know that they can find the people that they can control the fastest. They got to give a little bit of that up because you getting all this attention. And let's say you creative enough. Let the best ideology win. You create a system. It's part of the things that make the world go around. I'm going to want to buy it. I'm going to want to see it. I'm going to want to drive to that city to visit it. So if you're strong enough that no one could copy it because we already know you the only one doing it. So you created it. So we only want to see it from you because there's something going on with that mimicking energy, God kicking down the road. And the industry put too much of their eggs on the basket of that. So they lack creative directors at the moment. And then for the most part, boom. Now you got a whole new way. Now it's all on you to create how we get into the industry of making movies. And then the people who actually can fund these things, like directors, have no choice but to scout you, because you done did some new thing online to show how your acting qualities is. So that come with attention, that come with movie sales, everything. You know what I'm saying? People like, oh, this person about to be in a movie now and stuff like that. I was just watching it. Like, that come with everything. That's good business. Creative directors supposed to be understanding these things or whatever. You see what I'm saying? And you need to be a creator. You will be in that position right now where you created a whole new way to how to get into something and change the business that's in right now. So you're the face of the new world, the new wild, wild west, and how we are getting ready to have to do things for the next 10 years. Look, I was the way of how to do things for the next 10 years. This is what make everybody teachers and present their music now, or whatever, and doing it in a new way. It's a breath of fresh air. That's what God be wanting people to bring. Everybody need air, air. And it's going to condense, become new landmass, the way we structure it. And that's all of our spirit responsibility. That's all of our soul's responsibility. Make new mind states, it condense, become new actions, adrenaline, and eventually through creation, mutation, evolution, new body forms and stuff like that. And then new fruits and stuff in the nature, new animals, parasites, bacteria. And then we expand it. We get closer to God physically, not just mentally and spiritually. Bring God on earth for real. So now, why movies suck right now? Right? All movies are remixes of old movies and books or ideas that's no longer marketable. So the importance and motivation behind it can only be for alternative motives for that director, that specific director, lineage. And the veil is lifted if sarcasm towards someone else's culture is presented, or degeneracy beyond creative matters, where it just appears the author, producer, or the director is really just sick in the head, or sadistic, or mentally ill. Directors or authors can't get away with this at this moment. They can't get past the damage control in this new age to save face. What does that mean? The director been getting away with stuff like all these scary movies and stuff, all the way down to two women can have a children in that new Buzz Lightyear movie, or whatever the case may be, right? Now, it's one thing for it to be a movie to be sold, right, based upon someone using their creativity, based upon what people are lost in the world. It's another thing when we get the impression, no, this is just the way this author think. No, this is just the way this producer think and director think. And they just part of a family or something like that that fund these type of things. So they was able to get into that position to be able to express their thoughts or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And you can't get away with these type of things. So let's say you George Lucas, and you come out with a Star Wars movie or something like that. These is the things that's being kicked like the can down the road, that God is kicking down the road. So before you even think, oh, I'm doing the same thing I sold these amount of movies last time, check these moral systems. I'm saying check yourself at this time, because this is why movies suck at the moment. We're doing a bunch of old and outdated things. And once upon a time, a lot of these things may have worked. A lot of these times, a person may have not seen the sarcasm. They had a veil over their eyes, or whatever the case may be. In the time we in right now, it's not that people can pull a veil over another person's eye. It's just we in a new shift. So your glasses, your blood flow, your eyeballs see different things, and you see clearer, because the things you was in previously, if it was something, you're not seeing those angles no more, so you're clear from those things. You see what I'm saying? So it's not just how y'all physically look at these terms. Oh, I can see clearly now that the rain is gone. You do the actions and the the noun and the adjectives that take in the spiritual world of what it means before we even experience physically. Remember when I tell y'all up, right, left, down is mental constructs before we condense, and teamwork makes the dream work and become physical too? It's the same thing. When you're clear of something, you was in the fogginess of something, a collection of thoughts that became a feeling and an emotion. Then you got out of that one, so you can start building another collection of thoughts that could become a feeling and an emotion. But by default, that's a different angle, a different space, a different position. So you're going to be able to look at that previous one in the context of a memory to be able to decipher what have changed, what you was in and what you not in anymore, how you used to think and how you not thinking, or how that idea was and how it's indifferent than the idea that you're inside of now. But this is the first body you're building, your mind. You know what I'm saying? This is where we always in first, always our first glasses. And all of us as spirits went through a shift where the mind we create that condensed to become the physical body and the external world, all of that is going through a tear down, and we're forced to create another mind body to play out through the one that play out slower before this expire, the physical body, so we can start to build up for our life and our children, 7 generations, because we come back. We're just borrowing the land right now from our children. So we always, your children is your parents, and for the most part is always on that cycle. So they're getting ready to bring you back or whatever, or your lineage, your people, because you know DNA cancels itself out. So whatever more the percentage scale you is, you go more into that. Just like we see people who's still alive and then they have a kid, whether they're mixed or not, but it just take more of the side of the percentage scale because DNA cancel itself out or attack itself. Everything attacks itself. So you know what I'm saying? Y'all need to understand that even in science. What they do understand that in science is y'all pseudo scholars that's online that don't understand that thing. Y'all get lost. But you'll never hear no Europeans having y'all retarded conversations. You'll never hear no Asians having y'all retarded conversations. You'll never hear no natives having y'all retarded conversations. You know what I'm saying? It'll only be like small pockets of retarded people sometimes. You'll never hear no Arabs. And you'll never hear no, and I got to give it to Pan-Africans. You'll never hear no Pan-Africans having these dumb conversations and stuff like that. There's only these be like lost pockets of people. And Pan-Africans don't mean people from Africa or whatever the case may be. And just because you're born somewhere where it don't mean you're from there DNA-wise. So you could be born in America all the way down to when they was bringing Africans here in the late 16 and 1700s and before settling, like in the late 1700s and stuff like that. But they're saying your DNA traced back to West Africa and stuff like that. Arabs' DNA traced back to North Africa. You see what I'm saying? That's what they're saying. They're not saying because you're born here, you're from here. You don't never hear no Europeans having that retarded conversation. So I like that. I don't understand y'all sometimes. It's like y'all be lost. Like that's what, some of y'all got to get y'all people. Some of y'all got to get these coons out of y'all people. Y'all ethnic groups got to get the coons out of y'all people. Then maybe y'all can start moving the ball forward. Whatever y'all be needing assistance with. Because everyone here to help. I'm here to help. Other people here to help. We all here together. We can't get together if we got too much of these retarded pop culture things in the middle of us. We fighting with first with swords. That's the retardation. See what I'm saying? And a lot of times you're fighting with things that you're supposed to allow a person to have. Allow a person to have a culture. Allow a person to have a thing. Or whatever the case may be. There shouldn't be no weirdo gatekeeping in these industries or whatever the case may be. It should be proper gatekeeping. Therefore, infiltration won't be had. And things could properly have its proper growth and proper success and proper everybody doing business together in some way, shape, or form. Not people just being lost in the mind, and it really boils down to not having anything to do with business, having nothing to do with that money. Nothing with that money. Now, when it comes to why music sucks right now, the nostalgia of becoming successful is no longer the common goal, as we have found other things that matter in life and have seen throughout history that being a part of the music industry serve no purpose. You know what I'm saying? It really don't serve no real purpose to one's culture. When you have a culture or don't have a culture, one thing you're gonna realize: the music subject matter itself is bullshit, and y'all just calling that a culture. But music is something everybody do, right? And all cultures do. But since it ain't no word for what y'all think y'all actually doing, y'all calling the music business a culture, where everybody who know how to make music from their own culture can get in the music business. Then a lot of people, cultures, make music that don't have anything to do with being in a business. Like for me, example, I make music for the vibes that represent the spiritual system in my culture. So this is why my songs ain't intentional or sound virtual signaling. They represent me. So even if I got a certain live stream or a certain vibe I want to be in, I got a song for it. You see what I'm saying? It's not necessarily made for, oh, that's what people like, let me make it. Like, I ain't no virtual signaling person or whatever. I can give a fuck what y'all like. You know what I'm saying? That's what makes something likable, though. Anytime you put spirits in a position, it has to be talented, though. But every time you put a position in, you force an awareness, even if you're lost in the physical representations of what you're doing and you don't know that this would be going on because it ain't large enough on a percentage scale to play out physically. It will eventually. You force a spirit to see something that a spirit was supposed to see for themselves. It make a spirit be resistant. So when you make something obvious, and these is the things that you're constructing that you're trying to sell to, you put a spirit in a position of wanting to resist it. You like, oh, this person telling me what they doing. I don't want to buy it then. I'm not buying what they selling. You're supposed to be creative enough that even if something is intentional, you don't make it obvious. You just do it. Then it adds more layer. Because even when a person catch on, they like, oh, that's dope. And they only did it for that anyway, or to sell that. So you didn't put a spirit in their position of awareness, that light form, for them, to make them think it was something that they could discover for themselves to feel intelligent, because this was the responsibility God give us all. So when you do that in any capacity, even for positive matters, you can have good advice for a person that's doing something wrong. Depending on how you come across, it ain't the what, it's the how. The person to feel like you made them aware of something that they already know deep down. They probably was just too blinded into things. Automatically, they're going to stay in the thing that you're trying to debunk them or prove them wrong in, because they don't want to give you the pleasure of seeing that internal energy we built for ourselves before we come out with that adrenaline in our physical form. And they will play, I'm wrong, or if I'm wrong, I don't want to be right, and actually use their mind. Everybody mind intelligent. Y'all just use your minds for shit it ain't made for and unintelligent stuff, and start to come up with creative ways to create facades around how they still may be right. And depending on whatever the subject matter is, if it's attached to a whole bunch of industry and colonist type things that the government provided for us, that they had to make seem like it's the natural way of the world working, or whatever the case may be, a person may get away with these things. Because whatever that they're doing, it's like they can cover it up after a while. But eventually, you ain't going to be able to hold up that light too long. You ain't going to be able to be a red pill, feminist, whatever ego you holding up. Eventually, it's going to wear you out. It's going to wear your spirit out. Your spirit going to be drained. You ain't going to know what to do. And you're going to start separating from everything all the way to your damn self. And hopefully, you ain't no kitchen thinking too hard and you around knives and stuff. So, for the most part, when it comes to music sucks because becoming successful is no longer the common goal, as we have found other things that matter in life to be a part of, because we start to realize it don't serve no real purpose because it lack culture. Now, when you have a culture or don't have one, you start to realize the music that y'all made a culture out of, the subject matters and stuff that was being sold, actually in itself is bullshit and actually full of people without no culture, replaced with pop culture that colonists created. So remember, it ain't the what, it's the how. How y'all conducting y'all subject matters is highly based on virtue signaling and colonial tactics and what you think people want to hear, other than you presenting yourself and you just being an interesting person. And that's why a lot of y'all getting y'all ass kicked by content creators right now. So if a content creator is good at music like me, that's a double-edged sword. That's hard to deal with. It won't be nothing but the industry hating on that person and y'all not knowing what to do. You know what I'm saying? But we have to stop those type of qualities too, because we supposed to be helping each other. But how y'all conducting y'all subject matter is highly based on virtual signaling and colonial tactics, but have drifted far away from the gift that God gave you in the first place to get anyone's attention, which means the subject matter, keep this in mind, which means the subject matter can still be the same, but the intentions behind it changes something with the words and the appearance you give off that automatically put more of the percentage scale of an outdated industry energy behind it, behind you, aka you become performative other than just being yourself. For an example, it'd be like you see an NBA young boy of the talent that God gave him in the first place, but then see it being used when you see him with nail polish on, or then when you see him at a was the fashion show or whatever the case may be, right? Those tactics or an eyeball tactic may make him lose the amount of records that he was selling based off the gift that God gave him to get that attention to be in those positions in the first place. So once he get used for people who lack talent to use their money that in all actuality don't mean nothing to get the attention and stuff. Because for the most part, you will start to see him allowing himself to get watered down is how all artists start losing records, sales and stuff like that. Because you know that what got you like an NBA young boy in the first place, you still in that position. You don't care about going to a fashion show. So in your mind, you can only think NBA YoungBoy is in Britain at a fashion show for some his handlers put him there for. So people who untalented could get attention. Like whoever funded that talent show and all them whack clothes that really is just like lost settlers who don't know how to dress and try to copy other people's cultures and colonize it. So that became their culture. How much can I colonize other people and look crazy and look like my booty hole played with? But they don't come with no talent. It's just it come from cosplaying and native hobbyism. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like that. So people in the industry, y'all have to be careful with allowing the industry to give y'all the wrong advice that don't have anything to do with the talent that God gave you in the first place. That's what sell records, not what someone get ready to pay you for that's getting ready to become unrecoupable. So you might get paid for recommended given to you artists that the industry trying to sell. And no one cares about the record itself. So when you go back and do your own records, no one care about that either. They're gonna want to find whoever got the God sentiment, something that's not attached to that demonic energy or whatever, that don't have anything to do with nothing but a culture that no one's attached to anymore. You see what I'm saying? Like, think about that fashion show in Britain. Who culture is that? And who is these people trying to sell those clothes to? You ain't gonna catch me wearing none of that shit. But look, check this out. And here's the thing. I'm making my people interesting. So there's no business of someone who in that culture should be hot. If you can't make your own culture hot, that's your fault. All these is things that's getting ready to lose steam or whatever the case. We have to be more creative. And I'm not talking about NBA YoungBoy no more. I'm just using these things as examples or whatever the case may be. You see what I'm saying? The performative energy. You got Lil Uzi up there looking like Lord knows what. Looking like Missy Elliott and the Brat in that one video. Dum, 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 dum. I forgot what it was called and stuff like that when they was in the sand desert. And they all had on robot outfits and stuff like that. They got Lil Uzi Vert looking like that and stuff. You know what I'm saying? So it's weird or whatever the case. So it's like, yeah, what you was doing may have worked or shot value, but we're so much in this new shift now, these things could bite you in the butt. It's tainted energy. Let's say Lil Uzi finds some new gold, a hit or whatever the case may be. We can't get out of our mind. We can't get that out of our mind, bro. You know what I'm saying? So, just like Drake trying to drop an album. You know what I'm saying? Drake probably can't do nothing but eyeball stuff at this point. The talent ain't gonna be there or whatever the case may be because ghostwriting. You can't get past ghostwriting. You can't get past it. See, if Meek Mill would have brought up ghostwriting after 2016 or whatever the case may be, it might would have worked. When did Meek Mill bring that up? What year was that? What year was the Drake and Meek Mill beef?
The Drake and Meek.
Damn, 1 year. Yeah, all he had to do was wait.
Claims of ghostwriting. The conflict ended in 2018 when they reconciled.
It was in 2015. 2015. If he would have just waited one more year to 2016, Meek Mill might be on top right now. You know what I'm saying? Meek Mill might be on top right now, whatever the case may be. So, yeah, that's how that go. But, yeah, this makes trying to sell products only for big companies tricky. Because people support you, not necessarily who using you. So, if it's not something you truly do or into being, you know what I'm saying? Like if it ain't something you truly do or something you truly into, then trying to sell it can get sticky. So you're going to have to be careful. You're not going to be able to recoup because the people will reject it in some manner or not get it or not give it attention that it was planned for. So you got to be careful. A person might not give it people might not give it attention. It's like Rolling Stones trying to sell a magazine and thinking in their mind, hey, all we need is Rihanna. But yeah, Rihanna might be getting attention, but dressing her up in some nun outfit with blood dripping down ain't gonna be the shock value that we care about, because it's not even everybody caring about Catholic right now. Everybody lost in their own culture or whatever the case may be. So that might be a dud, but here's where the trickle down energy may come from, where Rihanna may have a stain. Now she can't get away with that. So now when she's trying to sell a record or she might got a hit, here's this magazine that's in everybody's mind or whatever the case may be. So now it becomes where no matter how good the record is, they ain't gonna sell as many records as before. So so now we have to we about to fund the illusion / delusion of Rihanna went gold first week. So that could just be more inflation and then inspire some young Rihannas to crash out thinking that they doing the same thing, but don't sell no records or whatever the case may be. Or is it going to be a situation where we stop playing with ourselves and go ahead and start building up this new concept because we need to make something else popular based off people's cultures? And I love all y'all from the bottom of my heart. So start working on yourself right now. You could be the next new thing that you could do all the filtering systems up under it. Business, entertainment, education, religion, and politics. And your model is what you're crafting. So you're formulating a model. And that model is gold. So for the most part, that's what wins. And everything falls up under it. Business, entertainment, education, religion, and politics, and everything that make the world go around. And I love all y'all from the bottom of my heart. Fight boss, beep, for sure. Listen to the Mind of an Terry's Moon. I am the Royal Archangel Uriel, and I'm here to carry out God duties and motherfucking responsibilities. And getting ready to say that same thing in another language. Rataswahil, Hoda Yellow, Massasoit, Mama Natoy. Woo, Masasaki. Get on the boat. I was like, get on the shuttle, Papoose. Get on the boat. Get on the boat. And shout out to y'all, Trump about it. I hear it. I hear y'all. It sounded 52. I hear it. You know what I'm saying? It's going to all melt together. It's all melt together. And we all make sure people who 90 years old can still get funded from their union, even when it comes to the music industry. Yeah, we're creating something new for everybody. We all together. It's a cultural connection now. Young, middle, old.